Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, to give you a little bit of background on me, my name is Laniece. I am a registered nurse and I have been a registered nurse for going on 2 years. But before becoming a registered nurse, I was a licensed practical nurse for about 6 years. So all in all, I've been working in healthcare for like 7 going on 8 years this year. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. It is really appreciated. My following is growing slowly but surely, and I'm so grateful because any growth is better than no growth. Okay. So, of course, if you are new here, let me go ahead and apologize. I have a dog who don't listen. And I can't have him running around my room while I'm trying to record this video because I don't want him to knock my camera over. So please excuse him. Number 2, there is no number 2. We'll just go ahead and get straight to the point. Not quite sure what I'm going to title this video, but this video will be about my second canceled contract in the last month. So if you didn't watch my last video about me being fired, I did have a contract that was canceled about 4 weeks early due to, I guess, my own doing. I'll take the blame for it, even though I don't really want to take the blame for it. And this contract that I just had canceled yesterday was actually canceled due to low census. So I'll tell you the story about how it was canceled or why it was canceled, and then I'll kind of just tell you what I'm learning and what I'm doing to still try to make sure I'm still getting some income in and maximizing my money and what my plan is to proceed from here. All right, so my contract was at a facility in Atlanta, Georgia. And the facility, first, we will start by saying that the contracts, the pricing, the pay of the contracts are going down drastically. Now, again, I've only been a nurse for almost 2 years, so I've only been traveling since August of 2021. And the prices were not as high at that time as I had heard they had been during the very first surge of COVID. So I never got to experience the $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a week that some nurses were making when they jumped on board and started traveling as soon as the pandemic hit. But I did get to experience some really good pay rates. At least for me, it was really good because I was coming from staff, I was coming from new graduate nurse pay, and so anything was better than what I was getting paid. So I was very grateful for it. But I didn't get to see the contracts when they were really, really big. But, however, the contracts that I have been seeing have all been over $3,000 a week. The contracts that I've been signing, $3,000 for me is my low point. Like, especially if I have to find somewhere else to live, or if I am getting paid. It doesn't matter. $3,000 is my low ball. Anything below 3, it's really, I feel like it's just not worth it for me, depending on location. Now, if I can sleep in my bed every night, then yeah, I'll do like 25, 28, maybe. Because you have to remember that the price that you see is before taxes. And even though you do get a stipend that's non-tax, that hourly rate is definitely taxed. So you're never going to get the full amount that you see on the contract. So anyways, $3,000 was my low point, and so I was having a lot of issues. I've been currently looking in North Carolina and Georgia. Those are the only 2 places I want to go other than California. But I'm working on my California nursing license, and I actually had a nurse ask me to talk about what I'm doing to get my California nursing license, and I will be sure to do that, but just not this video. I'll try to stay on task here. So I have been looking in North Carolina, and I have been looking in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and the contracts that I was seeing probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago when I started looking again were all at like 28, between around 28, 32 was really the highest that I had seen in the Atlanta area and in North Carolina, which lets me know that the rates are going down drastically because my last contract was around $32.50 every week, and So yeah, that let me know that the contracts are going down drastically. And also, I have a friend who works at the hospital that my last contract was canceled at. She picked up a contract there, and they're going down $20 an hour on her hourly rate. Now, don't get me wrong, she still has an awesome package or pay rate to me. But they're going down $20 an hour, which lets you know that these hospitals are trying to get people to sign on staff, but we'll get there later. So the contract prices are going down, but I had found a contract in the Atlanta area that was perfect for me. I did my drug testing, background check, did all my paperwork. I was just working on like getting my education stuff done, like my whatever education was required for the assignment through my travel agency. And then I found out yesterday, I'm sorry y'all if I keep looking this way, I got a new camera and the video, like the screen is over here to my right, as I'm used to looking up. So anyways, I'm trying not to do that. So anyways, I got a call yesterday saying that the contract was canceled due to low census. The contract was due to start on March 28th, and like I said, it was in Atlanta, and they told me that it was canceled due to low census. So two things happened here. The day before this contract was canceled, I was offered another contract in the Atlanta area, which was about $200 more a week. But I didn't go with that contract because that contract was a 13-week contract, whereas opposed to this contract that I had did everything for was only 8 weeks. And I really like that because I want to go to California this summer and try to work a short contract or work some per diem work. So, and then also this contract that I had already accepted, the overtime rate, even though the hourly rate sucked, the hourly rate was only $39 an hour. The stipend was $1,200 a week, which was good because that was untaxed, but the overtime rate was still going to be $150. And I usually pick up a day of overtime a week. I usually try to work 4 days a week when I am on contract, when I'm on assignment, to utilize that high overtime rate. So I stuck with this one because I like the shorter contract, and then I also like that the overtime rate was higher. So in the end, being that I do tend to work 4 days a week, I was going to come out still making about the same amount of money that I was making on my previous contract that was canceled. So this contract, again, like I said, was canceled due to low census. But this is where the tricky part, well, not the tricky part, but this is where the funny part comes into me, because my recruiter called me yesterday. She's like, hey, I got bad news. Your contract was canceled due to low census. So what areas would you like to look in? Because I'm working with several recruiters right now, and every single recruiter is telling me that the market is saturated, that the prices of the contracts are going down, and that there is a lot of competition out right now because everybody is leaving their staff positions to travel, which I completely understand, but it makes it a lot harder to get a contract when you have a lot of more applicants and you have a lot of agencies putting into these same hospitals. So these hospitals are able to always find somebody willing to work for cheaper than you're willing to work for. So that was the issue. So she sends me a list of facilities that I can apply to, and this facility that my contract was canceled from, I'm gonna rewind, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but I have to give you the details. The contract was for a facility in Georgia, but it was for a float position. Mind you, they were only trying to pay $39 an hour, which was a problem, but it's okay. I still accepted it. But you had to float between 3 different hospitals within this hospital system. You had to be willing to do that in order to be offered a contract. So it's a large hospital system where they have many hospitals in this hospital system, but they canceled me due to low census. But then whenever my recruiter sends me out a list of hospitals looking for a start date of 4/11, she sends me a whole entire list of this same facility, which lets me know that it wasn't, well, I'm not gonna say which lets me know, but the assumption that I'm making based off the fact that my contract was canceled due to low census and they still are looking for a shit ton of help means that they're just looking for cheaper help. Because this is another reason why I'm making this assumption, because my contract was due to start on 3/28. In my contract, they were very strict about if you do not take the day off ahead of time and it's not written in your contract, you will not be approved if you still want certain days off during your contract and it's not written in there. They were very strict about that. So I have a concert coming up on 4/1 or 4/2, and I would need those days off. But they offered me the contract, and they gave me those days off that I needed. But then they came back and told me that they could not give me those days off that were in my contract because it was during the week of orientation. So I had two options. I could either start the following Monday, which would have been April 4th, or I could still start on 3/28, but I could not get those days off in my contract. Of course, just going with the 4/4 date would have been fine with me, but if I would have started on 4/4, my pay package would have went from $3,000 a week to $2,600 a week just for starting a week later. So then all the packages that were on the list, all the facilities that were on this list that my recruiter sent me yesterday, that were in this same hospital system that I got canceled as a float nurse to float to multiple hospitals in this hospital system that were still on this list of places that are looking for help, all of the pay packages were $2,600 and below, $2,600 a week and below, which lets me know that they don't need as much help as they say, but also they are also looking for cheaper help. That is really all it is. They just want to pay travel nurses less. That's the only thing I'm seeing here, because I'm getting that because if I started a week later, my contract would have been $400 a week less. And then on top of that, these hospitals, she still sent me a list of the same hospital that I just got canceled at due to low census. So, okay, you know what, whatever. That was my little story time for that. So what I am learning here is, one, there is a lot of competition out here for these travel assignments. So make sure your resume looks good. Make sure you have all of your experience, any certifications you can get. NIH, stroke scale, get that. ACLS, if you don't have that, get that. Get all the certifications that you can get if you want to travel to juice up your resume. Another issue I think that they were having was even though I was working on my education, I had to work the last 2 days, and she wanted me to have all my education done by today, but there was absolutely no way I could get everything done by today. And so, I just asked her if I could have another day, and I think that was another issue. So make sure you get all of your stuff done. Once you accept that assignment, take that day off or take some time to just go ahead and get everything done so you don't have any issues with your paperwork, or you don't have any issues with the hospital, saying, oh, well, they didn't turn this in on time or anything like that. Another thing that I am learning is that, like I said, these rates are going down drastically. Everything that she sent me between North Carolina and Georgia was less than $3,000, with the give or take maybe 1 or 2 out of 20 something that she sent me. And I know that some people are like, well, $2,600 a week is still good. It's not good to me, because I am learning that what is working best for me is getting a PRN job. So that is another thing that I'm doing that is what I'm doing currently to make sure I have income and also maximize my money. So let's talk about why PRN has been working wonderfully for me. So I'm the type of person, I don't like commitment. I don't like working, period. I get tired of going to work very easily, so very fast. It doesn't take much for me to get bored with a job. So PRN allows me to still keep like that zest for work, because I don't have to work 3 days a week. At my current job, I have to work 3 days in a 6-week track. And my job, they're so kind that I don't even have to tell them ahead of time what days that'll be. I just tell her, hey, I can work tomorrow. Hey, I can work Wednesday, Thursday next week. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't have to go to work at all. Now, granted, you have to be very disciplined, because if you don't go to work, you don't get any money. But if you don't go to work, it's not going to be held against you either. So it's like, if you're a person like me and you don't feel like going to work, and if you won't go to work when you don't feel like going to work, then PRN might be a little hard because you got to force yourself to go. But it does work because you go to work whenever you feel like it. And since you're not being drugged to work when you don't feel like going, you kind of want to be there a little bit more. And to me, I feel like I am in a much better mood. I've been in a much better mood at my job since I went PRN. Now, the downside of it is you don't get any benefits. So I am in the process of looking for health benefits through a private insurer. So I don't have to worry about picking up a contract ASAP just for the health insurance. But one thing that I will say is that working PRN, you also make more money. My hourly rate went up, but also at my job, most of these hospitals, because they want staff nurses, are offering lots of incentives. So just to give you an example, now don't get me wrong, I'm still not making nearly as much as I was making as a travel nurse. As a travel nurse, I was making like 10 to 14K a month, depending on how much overtime I picked up. So I'm not making that. I cut that in half basically. This month, depending on how many days I work, I will probably only make about 7K this month, between 6 and 7K, which is fine. My bills aren't that much. I can still save a good amount of money and live comfortably off of that. But still, I have, for the last however many months, I've been making a lot more than that. So I don't want you to think, oh, I'm going to quit traveling to work PRN and make a bunch of money. You're not going to make a bunch of money, but you're going to make more money than you made as a staff nurse. And again, let me get back to the point. You will make more money than if you were a staff full-time nurse because of the incentives. At my job, if as a PRN worker, again, I only have to work 3 days out of a 6-week period. So anything over 2 days in my 6-week period goes toward what they call a high vacancy bonus, which means at the end of, I believe it's like 11 weeks or 15 weeks, if I pick up 68 extra hours, is it 68? It's somewhere around 68 or something like that. If I pick up a certain amount of hours, then I can get a bonus check for $750, or if I pick up a certain amount, like another amount, I think it's like 120 hours, then I can get a $1,500 bonus at the end of the period. So that's one way to earn some extra money. But on top of that, anything over 8 hours that I work in a 2-week pay period, anything over 8 hours, I automatically get incentive pay, which means I automatically get a bonus of $190 on top of a $5 incentive bonus. And then anything over 36 hours in a 2-week period, I get double time and overtime. So, you can make a good amount of money. Now, let me tell you where my job is messing up. This is where they got me effed up at. My check was short because my payroll specialist, or whoever does it, she didn't count my hours correctly. So my check was short today. But they said it'll be on my next check, which I'm not going, as long as I get my money, I'm not going to complain, but I know to stay on her behind about it next time. So that is how I'm kind of making my life fit for me and my situation. So like I said, I'm enjoying PRN right now at the moment because I get paid more than I would if I was full-time back at my staff nurse position. I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't want to leave this hospital because I'm still fresh in my nursing career and I want to try to go to another area. I don't want to be in med surg forever. I want to like either try the ED or the PACU, or I want to try something different, and this makes my ability to just transfer positions or get a job in another city a lot easier if I stay on the payroll at this current hospital, because the hospital that I work at is a large hospital system in North Carolina. So I don't really want to leave right now, because I do want to be able to transfer or get another position whenever and if I do want to get my NP, I want them to pay for it. So, it's stuff like that really there are benefits with being a staff nurse that you're not going to get as a traveler. Don't get me wrong. But another reason I don't want to leave my job is because again, I'm comfortable there, and I feel welcome there, and I get to work when I feel like it. Like, not I get to work like as in I'm late. Now don't get me wrong, I am late a lot, but I go to work when I want to go to work, and that's the kind of job that I really do need at this time and point in my life, because I'm trying to be more creative. I'm trying to do more things with my family, and you know, I don't be wanting to work 3 days a week. If I want to work 5 days this week and take this week off next week, I want to be able to do that without having to tell somebody like, hey, I need this day off, this day off, this day off. And then I can do that without having to have a set schedule. That's what I'm trying to say. But I don't have much memory card left, and my battery is going dead. And I hope this video was helpful. I'm trying to learn to not ramble as much, but let me go ahead and get out of here. Again, I hope this video was helpful. And again, my name is Laniece. Please like and subscribe the video, and I'm gonna get out of here. Peace.